audience. So it is a great pleasure for us to start this country perspective with Kyrgyzstan, a country that is inspired to become the dreamland for many digital nomads. And together with our team, my name is Jenish. I'm the head of experimentation of UNDP Accelerator lab. I also had the pleasure to invite Dibya Singh, even though she's like now in UNDP India, but she joined the digital mission, visit Kyrgyzstan recently in the role of the gender expert, together with our Talant Sultanov. He's a co-founder and the chair from Kyrgyz Internet Society. So three of us together today, we wanted to present you how from this UNDP practice, our gender policy recommendation, as well as the civil society, we are empowering the women in STEM with digital transformation. So, but before going into very in details about STEM women, I would like to brief you a country context. So Kyrgyzstan is a very young country with an average age of 24, and there's an increasing demand for jobs. So when the youngsters, they cannot find a job inside the country, then they just look forward to securing other work opportunities abroad. So that's why we have like a pretty large number of migrants working abroad. Approximately like 30% is their women. According to the official statistic, there are like 800,000 working migrants. But informally, we know there might be like over 1 million among any 6 million population. So that's quite a big demand. And most of those people, they mainly occupy this kind of lower level jobs which requires lower level skills. So there have been already many national initiatives. We wanted to change this narrative. For example, we have this high technology park, which has set up a very ambitious mission saying like, we want to enable every Kyrgyzstani to live in Kyrgyzstan and work for the world. In 2017, Kyrgyz government actually launches this nationwide program. It's called Sanarib Kyrgyzstan. Sanarib translated is like a digital Kyrgyzstan. So we wanted to aim to build this transparent state, which is a knowledge-based economy. Sanarib Kyrgyzstan is a key component of our National Sustainable Development Plan 2040, which is committed to enhancing the human capital and innovation. So according to our national policy, we highlighted like a highly educated, tech progressive population is the basis for social development and building a competitive advantages for a country. So what is the role of UNDP in Kyrgyzstan? We wanted to help our national partners to create this enabling environment so that we can enhance the ICT digital skills for youth, especially for young women, like in a digital economy, so that they can we can also help them to integrate to the global labor market. So this is like a brief, a graph. I don't know if you see, I think this is a little bit, sorry. So one of our project is about the digital skills and the digital economy. So I wanted to show how we work in UNDP here. So we apply this human-centered approach to digitalizations. We have to understand what is the true needs of our beneficiaries. And then in order to enable the digital transformation, we have to start with the digital capacity. But in order to make that happen, we understand the importance of setting up this new educational standard and curriculum. So that's why we closely partner with the Ministry of Education and Science in the Kyrgyz Republic. But before going into our work, we actually want to make this needs assessment of the labor market. We understand what is really the need, what kind of professions are actually needed in the current labor market. Then we bring this market needs into this formal education curriculum. Together with the MOE and with our other academic partners, we already developed this national strategy for digital development. We have submitted that one. We even experimented with the university teachers and the school teachers together, like through the Train the Teachers program, TTT. So by doing that, I want to also highlight we have an informal education. What I mean by informal, for example, we helped create these free courses as course area, like more than 4,000 youngsters they registered, they learn a lot of digital skills. We also had over almost 50 digital events all over. We very actively doing the information awareness campaign. You can see this kind of role models of women is here. We even made a very short film. It's called Yıldız. Like the story is also about the young girl being inspired to become a digital champion. So through this formal education and informal education all together, we were truly to embed this human-centered approach to digitalization so that our beneficiaries, they can use these internship programs, entrepreneurship programs, and going back to the labor market. Last but not the least, UNDP, we've been also helping. We already launched 10 youth centers all over the Kyrgyzstan with our donors. So this is actually to build this infrastructure for them, to build these communities of learning for youngsters. I would like to also the last shout out, actually it's a great pleasure. We're very proud to say in the beginning of this year, with the UNDP Chief Digital Office, we won this Digital Skill Accelerator program. Among 168 applications in 75 countries, we are selected as 10 most impacted solutions. So we have the project called Balatech. Balatech, it is a very interesting program teaching the kids programming using the gamifications. So through this simple way of gamification, this is actually innovation driven by our private innovator. So we were able to engage both young boys and girls to learn programming. In the last, we have already 15,000 youngsters learn programming through Balatech. And this year, 2021, in November, we will holding this Olympiad. We target to reach 50,000 youngsters. And we hope we can have even more girls to join this program learning about the 50%. Yes, so I would like to pass the floor also to now the representative of the civil society organization. Talant, please.
Thanks so much, Jenny. Let me jump right in. Let me share some experiences of our work on the grassroots level. I'm representing the Kyrgyz Internet Society, and some of our work involves bringing internet connectivity to very remote areas of the country. And you can see in this picture, some of these locations have no roads, no electricity, no TV. And as you can see on the left picture, it's both boys and girls who are helping do this work. The other type of work we are doing is the project called Ilim Box. Not all the villages in Kyrgyzstan and in Central Asia have internet connectivity, but we have a solution for this. We can bring the content to these schools and to these libraries with this device called Ilim Box. And Nadia mentioned earlier from Ukraine that the importance of safe spaces for girls, especially in rural areas. And we realized that in rural areas, boys have more opportunities to hang out, to do sports. But for girls, libraries have become one of these important safe spaces, and Ilim Box can be very useful for that, to bring educational content to rural youth. The other, and we can share the experience of Ilim Box with partners across the region. Once we bring the real internet to the villages and to all the locations in the country, once we have the content, we now are working on the Ilim Box online platform, where we will have all the educational resources available online from first grade to the last grade of the secondary school. And this content will be put together in very engaging format, like TikTok format. And Jenny mentioned about Balatech. We would like to host such applications in this platform as well. And we think that children who sometimes, because of the pandemic, have to stay, maybe girls in very traditional societies, if they can't attend school, this could be an alternative way of delivering knowledge. And finally, I think one of the important issues related to our work is developing relevant content. And you can see in the next slide, this is one of the pictures you can see is the textbooks that students in the capital city receive. but in the rural areas, they don't even get these kinds of books. Another case is this textbook on Kyrgyz literature. If you open it, all the authors listed in these books are male authors. So you have two issues here. One, availability of content, and two, it's very male dominant. So we are focusing a lot on developing content that is relevant, and it's developed by women engineers, women teachers, and women methodists. I think that's all for my part of the presentation. Back to you, Jenny.
Thank you. May I also invite Ms. Debbie, please, for your policy recommendation. What do you have discovered during your digital mission trip in Kyrgyzstan?
Thank you, Jenny. And without taking much time, I will straight away come to policy recommendations and why it is needed to have more women in STEM to accelerate gender equality. Most of the points have been touched upon by earlier speakers, but I'll quickly go through them. It's like we all know that women in STEM workforce have very low representation, and they also face challenges and barriers in sustaining and advancing their career, and they also experience wide gender pay gaps. We have all experienced during pandemic that how it has accelerated a digital transformation. And so we can confidently say that the future of work, the future of jobs will be in technology and sciences. And therefore, women need to be STEM skilled so that they enter the workforce, which is created by the fourth industrial revolution. And why they need to be there? Because most of the solutions that's being designed or the algorithms of the AI are data-driven. And these data are heavily loaded with the typical gender stereotypes. It's heavily androcentric. So women need to combat these biases by being there in the sector. And to do this, we need to have better policies. We need to design better policies which addresses these specific issues. And the policies need to be data-driven. The data has to be gender segregated. And we need to start from very early years, like the foundation of gender gap gender gap in STEM happens at the early school years. So the educational institutions, they can integrate topics like coding or AI or robotics into the academic curriculum so that, the girls and young women, they learn these subjects in the school just like any other subjects. Education policies also need to be reformed so that the subjects are properly integrated. And private sector has a very, very important role. Public-private partnerships, they can play an important role in imparting STEM skills, train the talent pipeline, which is technologically competent and future fit for the fourth industrial revolution. There is also need for dedicated strategy, not only to increase the representation of women in STEM, but also see that they thrive and sustain in these high-paying jobs. So the organization level policy changes need to embed policies like for diversity, equity, and inclusion at workplaces. And equity in hiring and paying wages must be built into the DNA of these organizations. So I can say that now is the time to level the playing field to accelerate gender equality in STEM, and together we can do this. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for my teammates. And in the end, this is just a very brief snapshot of what we've been doing now in Kyrgyzstan. Of course, there are much more other very exciting initiatives, but we wanted to end it our story and presentation with this very kind of cute, like a photo, which truly touched our hearts. A small girl holding the phone with this box internet connectivity in a remote mountainous area. And she continues exploring, studying, and also finding the interest in the STEM. So we hope this is not only one girl, there will be hundreds, thousands, even million girls can be inspired by our works done together. Today, we presented to you such a using human-centered approach to make the systemic kind of transformation, starting from the infrastructure, digital skills training, to policy communication using both formal and informal approaches. So we are very much open to any partnership with academic, private sector, civil society, and we are ready to continue advocating for gender equality in STEM. Thank you so much.